I think it's the light.
The light. I mean, you think your stomach is that translucent?
You know they could see light, right?
I know. I can see light, but she's like, I'm not inside the wall. She called womb. Anyways, D&D podcast. We're back. I mean, kind of, sort of. It's just like a catch-up video, like catch-up video, right? Yeah, Didi's here.
I'm back, sorta.
Yeah, but sorta, because like obviously, like she's gonna be gone in like what, 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as y'all can see, party like on the other shot, because we're in the same room, y'all. It's just I like to shoot these videos to different. You know, you can just do more with it. Anyways, 8 months pregnant, right? 8 months.
8 months and a half, 35 weeks.
35 weeks. Dang, crazy. Right? And it's crazy how like, bro, we didn't have no plan for this video at all, y'all. So, you know, just bear with us. This is a catch-up video. It just more has to like, bro, just like we're chilling today. We're chilling. So anyways, I think last time you were on the channel, how far along were you? I don't even remember, but
I don't remember, but
your stomach was starting to show.
Yeah.
Stomach was starting to show. I don't know. I may be exaggerating. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we were just blind.
You couldn't see my stomach if I had a hoodie, which you still can't. If I put a hoodie, like one of your hoodies, you can't see my stomach.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, you still can technically. Like, I can see your stomach with whatever you wear at this point. You got a balloon there now.
Oh, yeah.
The basketball.
Yeah. Right. At least I have a cute stomach.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't know if a stomach is supposed to be not cute. But anyways, so I wanted to ask you, since the moment that we kind of talked about it on the podcast, what was it? I think it was the first episode.
Yeah.
How has your experience been since then? Like, how has the process of pregnancy treated you throughout? And don't give me a politically correct answer. Don't give me that woman empowerment answer, bro. Just give me your answer. I want your answer.
Honestly, it's strange, but it's like I've been fine. Like, it's just,
you can speak. You don't have to speak as loud.
Like, having her like move around and things like that has been like a really awesome but annoying experience at times, because she kicks very hard. She has strong legs and arms, and it hurts at times. And people don't tell you that. They're like, oh, like feeling the move is so beautiful, and it is. But sometimes they be doing stuff that it's uncomfortable.
You said that people don't tell you this. I don't think they tell you the details, because when you got pregnant, everybody told me, mijo, prepárate, que ya te metiste en lo bueno, which like, I was Spanish, y'all. He's basically saying like, yo, I'll prepare yourself because now you in the good stuff. It sounds kind of crazy in Spanish or in English, because that does not translate well at all, right? But anyways, those who know. Anyways, that's kind of like payback though.
How is it payback?
Because you kick me and headbutt me when you're sleeping, period, all the time.
Okay, so now you're going to have two of us
doing it. I
get
3-hit combos. No, it's not happening, because our child's not sleeping in the same bed. Why? Because you move too much. You're probably going to KO her out the bed.
You think you're not going to put the baby in the bed to take naps?
If this was a WWE match, she would be out of bounds all the time because of you. Literally.
Listen, the point is,
I don't want to see you stunner her out of nowhere for no reason.
I won't. I mean, she's not going to sleep in our bed. She's not. But sometimes you take naps. Sometimes she just wants to lay down.
If I wake up and she's 619, it's going to be hilarious. You don't even know what that means.
No.
But it's okay.
Sorry.
Anyways.
But yeah, there's just things about pregnancy that people just don't tell you.
Listen, I don't think the people on your freaking Instagram or TikTok algorithm tell you anything. Because they just tell you all the good stuff, or at least on your algorithm. My algorithm is completely different. All I see is sonograms of babies kicking their mom's butts from the inside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it on Instagram and Facebook and like TikTok, that's where like now people are kind of starting to talk about it.
Yeah.
But like people in your circle, they're like, oh, you're gonna love it. And then there's like the other half that it's like the last 2 months you're gonna hate it.
My brother Daniel, from the beginning, he was like, be ready. Like,
yeah. But like, I think he's traumatized.
Traumatized from what? From having a child? Of course. Yeah. This is a super traumatizing experience. And I don't mean that in the way like I regret. It's just this is kind of crazy. Like, you know what it is for me to go to work every single day and be like, yo, what if it's today? Because you're far along now. You're like 35 weeks, right? 35 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, I think what, tomorrow you're 36. Anyways,
No, tomorrow I turn 35.
whatever. Y'all was close enough. Anyways, 34 weeks and a quarter. Anyways, that's like, and I'm sitting there at work and I'm just like, yo, it could be today. It could, and then on top of that, my freaking compañeros be like, hey man, be ready because you may have to arrancar, you may have to go over there. And it's just like, come on, bro. Why you gotta do me like that? Let's just wait till those 40 weeks. Please hold it in.
We'll see.
If your water breaks, pick the water back up and put it in. I'm just kidding. That was a horrible joke.
Yeah, it was.
Let's keep going.
See, in my job is the complete opposite.
They're babying you?
Yes, and then they're like, no, you could hold until July 7th. July 7th is my due date. And they're like, no, you could wait. It's fine. We need you to stay here because they don't want me to leave. Because once I leave, all of the work that I do, it's going to be on pause for like the next like month or two.
Yeah. But why'd you even have to say the due date in the first place? Why couldn't you just be like July 32nd?
Because it's not July 32nd. And 32nd don't exist.
So? Could have just said that and kept them guessing. Like, come on now. I mean, we did say 35. Never mind. We said 35 weeks. Yeah. I'm half asleep, y'all. I just woke up. Like, we just woke up.
Count, one. And two, we don't even know if that's my due date. But we don't know if she's going to be born that day. It's just whenever she decides to come.
Hey, you just better relax. I need to prepare. I don't even have the hospital bag yet. Ready. All right.
Well, we're doing the hospital bag today.
Yes.
We're going to Walmart, getting some stuff. I'm not going to make a big hospital bag like people be doing. It's just the hospital provides everything and I don't want to carry 1,000 things and I don't want you to have to carry 1,000 things. Yeah. So
I will say this. Since the whole, me from the time that I have found out to this point now, right?
Yeah.
I've been, obviously, what are we doing? We're doing nothing, right? I try not to utilize my whole time on the phone unless it's something productive, right? Or like when we're reading about it, right? So, but those times when we're just winding down and stuff. So I've seen videos of like, I can't remember the guy's name. It's a white dude with a beard, right? And that's a lot of people to be like. I can't even individualize that. That's like 85% of America. Even my brother Danny looks like a white dude with a beard. So it's like, yeah. So, anyways,
sure.
My point is this: they say that like as the woman continues to grow in her process of pregnancy, the man, right, the father of the baby, it's like they instinctually know what to do as you go further into your pregnancy. And they say that, obviously I know for a fact myself, when you give birth, I'm going to be terrified. Not in the sense of like I'm not going to know how to act, right? It's more like I know how to compose myself, period. Even in situations that we've ever been in that were tense or like stressful situations, I've always kept kind of like poised. Yeah. But inside, I'm gonna be like, yo, because this has never ever gone through this ever, right? So, but thanks to God, we've gone through like the process has been pretty, has been pretty like healthy and from what they say is a normal process of pregnancy. But they say that like the husband kind of goes into like this protective mode, right? It's like instinct mode when you're there, like after you give birth.
I think you've been like that since the moment you found out I was pregnant, though.
You think I went overboard a little bit?
At times, for sure.
Think so?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Don't
put me up. I mean, it's
listen,
podcast. Go ahead.
I would go up the stairs and he's like, okay, well, I got to go behind you because I have to make sure you're okay. Or you will like we'll be walking and you'll just look behind you to make sure I'm good.
100%.
Or you'll be like, you're walking too fast.
And
yeah,
like, 100%.
I'm walking.
Shortness of breath.
Okay, but I know at what pace I could walk.
Dizziness. Your baby's eating your food too. So it's like, and you don't eat a lot. So it's kind of just like, what are you doing?
I've been eating enough.
And clarify. Let's go into detail. If we're going to go into detail about how I do things, all right? All right. When you're walking up the steps, I'm behind you. right? Because in
Yeah.
case you topple over because you wobble something, you walk,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, you're doing the wobble walk that every pregnant woman does in their last couple of weeks. And then when you're going down the stairs, I'm in front of you. Because in case you fall over, you know, oh, I fell over, you know. I don't want you bashing the baby's head or yours.
Well,
Just want to
I
emphasize I made sure I put in yours because that sounds crazy if I didn't input or yours.
I understand that, but like sometimes you could go a little bit overboard.
Like what, man? Tell me what's
Even
overboard.
baby, you like being meticulous about everything. Like even what I eat, he like monitors, which
100%.
is a good. It's my fault part of it
Because you're a
because I
sweet tooth. You
told
have a
you
nasty sweet tooth.
I do, but I also told you I don't want to gain too much weight during
I mean,
pregnancy.
you gained your normal weight. Like from
Yeah,
what we've seen statistically speaking, you've gained the normal weight. You're not yeah, I just wasn't going to allow, which by the way, this has nothing to do with me being controller. This has everything with me to do with holding her accountable because this is something that we decided before she got pregnant.
yeah,
Because one, me, I struggle with I have a sweet tooth as well, but her sweet tooth is like on steroids.
yeah. It is.
So if I'm gonna sit there and watch what you eat, obviously you want to provide nutrition to the baby as well. And they say
Mm-hmm.
necessarily sometimes it's not. You don't have to monitor exactly everything because the baby's still gonna consume whatever nutrients it needs to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, is the baby gonna consume the nutrients off of junk food, or is the baby gonna consume the nutrients off of just stuff that's high in sugar, high in fructose, high in what is that called? Zam gum. That every single product, if you look at the back of
Has
the box of
yeah.
the ingredients, it literally has this thing called Zam gum. I don't know how to say it. I just be saying gum because that's what it
But
looks like.
like
It
we
says.
also wanted a healthy baby. We wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that she came out as healthy as possible.
All right. Cool. What was the last thing you said?
Uh,
Zam gum, healthy.
yes, we wanted to
Sorry,
make
y'all. Camera
sure.
cut off. I don't know why I did it, but it did.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we had a healthy baby, and not only that, we in our families we know that there is different conditions, and we want to prevent those from even now.
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of like, if you're in general, if you're going throughout your life and you're not eating like you should to keep your body like healthy, then obviously a lot of things are going to break you down.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, I don't know if I've ever said it to like the channel or to any channel, YouTube ever, gaming channel, but I don't have a gallbladder. So it was removed because I was eating garbage as a kid, like a lot. Like, all I ate was chicken nuggets, burgers, a whole lot of freaking hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
If I had hot Cheetos, if it was in my vicinity, like you could give me a bag of chips and I'm watching something and it's done, it's gone. Like I'll run through that
oh,
bag
I
of chips.
know. We buy chips. I got him into baked chips. If you've never had baked chips,
hmm
you need to. They're the best chips ever.
And don't call it white people chips. And sorry, white people, if that's what you're gonna call it. We're not. This is not racist.
I've never heard them be called that.
I don't know. It's just you never know. You never know. Somebody may come across the baked chips and be like, "Oh, that's the version of the white." Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, white people chips is good. All right. Okay.
I don't
Let's
know
go
about
with
that.
that.
But baked chips.
Baked chips.
If we're like watching a YouTube video or like a movie and he has them next to
Oh,
him,
it's done. It's gone.
I'm like, hey, like we bought this for us.
Yeah, but I don't do that as often. But if we do have chips in the house, that's like kind of like the crack of this house for me at least. So
Yeah.
I try to avoid having chips in the house. Only time I really do get anything that's related to chips is if it's like the small bags and we're just snacking for the day. But that's it. Besides that, I don't really have like a crack besides that or a vice, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you
Mine
would
is
call it.
ice cream.
Yeah, which I mean, I'll give you
Ice
credit though.
cream.
You have done well with that. I like what we try to do is like, for example, it's not just her. It's not just her. Like if we're gonna be if I'm gonna hold her accountable, she also holds me accountable. So if there's like for example, like this whole week we've gone through a certain amount of food and we've eaten a certain amount of things and make sure that we don't try to input too much junk food or whatever the case may be that's not healthy or things that are super high in like starchy foods and so on and so forth. My job kind of requires me to have a little bit more carbs in my system because I need to
Mhm.
use that as an energy source. Um, so I kind of burn it off super quick. Like I'm burning like 1,300 calories at my job alone. Um, and I walk like I think it's like 16 to 18 miles a day, right? Um, And like if you're going by like flights of steps, I'm going through like 40 plus flights of steps on a daily. Um, so anyways, the point is we're going through this like this organized form of dieting through the week, and then on the weekends we'll have like that moment where we can kind of eat something. And sometimes she doesn't want to, sometimes I don't want to, sometimes she does, sometimes I don't. So if we go out to eat, I typically choose like a healthier option, and it's kind of just like a reward to ourselves, right? Not to just her or anything like that. Because I don't want you guys to think that it's just like she can't eat certain things and then I can just eat whatever. No, I'm on the same regimen as her. Period. And even before pregnancy, we were kind of like on the same on the same thing. Because they say when you get married that you gain that happy weight and so on and so forth. And I was a little slimmer when we got married, but I was like 7 pounds lighter than I am now.
Yeah.
I'm still about the same range, but that was almost 2 years ago. We got
Mm-hmm.
married. I'm kind of satisfied and happy with the keeping the weight down. Because my height, if I get up there in the 190s, which
You were up there
oh
for
man, I looked like a ball. That was not good. And you know what? I'm gonna bring this up anyway. So when we started the podcast, right, I started realizing it because I was watching like the videos and stuff. Man, dude, I had like because now like my hair is growing, right? Like it's in this like phase where it looks like a little like mini lion mane. The beginning, huh?
Timothy hair.
Who?
Timothy.
Timothy. Who Diddy? Who's Timothy?
Timothy Chalamet.
You mean Timothy Chalamet?
That is not how you say
That's
his
not how
name.
you say his first name.
Yeah, it is.
Diddy, his name is not Timothy. You're not Spaniard. It's Timothy.
That's how I hear him say it. So
and that's how I pronounce his last name. So what?
Whatever. Willy Wonka. Okay.
Hey, he's not Willy Wonka. Don't you ever disrespect Johnny Depp like that ever in your life again.
Listen.
And I'm not even, listen, I know everybody talk about like the old, what's his name? The guy that does the original Willy Wonka?
I don't know. The one that has the 30 blonde hair. That's my Willy Wonka.
Listen, that is not Willy Wonka. That is not Willy Wonka. All right. If Willy Wonka got candy in his factory, and that's the Willy Wonka, that is not candy. All right. Have you seen his eyes throughout the whole movie? That to me is terrifying. I see people like that on a daily on the side of the street. You know what that is? Drug addicts. and he looks like he snorts lines before any line he did.
You know what's funny is that people actually say that Johnny Depp's version, it's a little bit more creepy.
It is.
So for me, I grew up on the like one from the 90s. I think it's from the 90s.
Yeah, but yet you like Jim Carrey's version of The Grinch, but not the original cartoon.
Yeah. But I love Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is like one of my favorite actors. So any project he does, I like. So I still love that Willy Wonka version. There was a
movie I saw from Johnny Depp that was like, it's super old. I think when we lived in all together, we all lived together like years ago. I was probably like maybe like 5 or 6. I remember watching a video. Maybe I was 4. There was a movie with Johnny Depp, and he was looking for someone. And he had glasses. And he had a mustache. He had long hair. I mean, that's how he looks like all the time now. Anyways, I'm referring to like the movie. It was like a serious suspenseful movie. And I don't remember the name of it. And I think he was like maybe in the woods, or maybe he wasn't in the woods.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
But he was looking for some blonde haired girl. Lady.
I don't remember the name of that.
Right. Maybe I'm completely like on like not accurate whatsoever, but I remember something like it was Danny used to have this like book, and it had CDs inside of it, like CDs all inside of it of all the movies that we used to have and stuff like that. His name is not Timothy. That sounds like you're speaking like Mike Tyson.
I don't know how he speaks because I don't pay attention to him. Sorry. I'm sorry. He's not important enough for me to look at his videos.
You ever seen the video of he's like, I broke my back. And they're like, what part of your back? Spinal. You never heard him say? Basically, he speaks with a lisp, Didi, because he's got like this small little gap right here. I love how you're just nodding because you have no idea on this topic, or you're not even going to entertain the subject.
I'm sorry. It's not my thing.
Okay. That's cool.
Sorry.
You know what is my thing? The baby.
You were gonna say the Lord.
I mean, we could. Hey, Bible verse, real quick. I'll hit you with one. Back to the show. The podcast, like the game show, right? Anyways, so back to what I was saying, instinctualness, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's even a word. Um, yeah, I feel like even throughout our life, whenever there's been something that's kind of happened, I've always kind of like it's kind of like you find the prudence and guidance to like just know what to do at that moment. And so in this situation, what I don't want, it's probably going to happen is I'm probably going to be at work happening, or somebody's going to call me on your part and tell me, hey, your wife's giving birth.
Well, I've been praying that the Lord allows it to just be on the 7th, only because that's a Sunday, and we'll just probably either be at church or be coming home from church.
Oh, I'm not going nowhere. We're staying right here. We're staying here. We are going to
that first week of July. I won't go to work.
Yeah, but that Sunday you're staying right here. We're staying right here. Gonna risk you having your water break in the middle of the service.
That'll be hilarious.
No, that ain't no. Hey.
That'll be so funny.
I was gonna make a joke about holy water, and I'm going to.
My leg just fell asleep.
Your leg fell asleep. You know that happens to me all the time when I'm on the toilet.
Yeah, well, now it's just, blood circulation is different now that I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I feel like because now you're like near my weight now. It's kind of like you feel like I'm just kidding. My legs don't fall asleep because of it. Just happens where like when I'm on the toilet and I do one of these, right?
Yeah.
Put my elbows right here. I don't know what nerve. I don't know what vein I'm hitting on my kneecaps.
Right? Well, you're not on your kneecaps. You're on your thighs.
The back of my kneecaps, top thighs. I do one of these, and it's just like all of a sudden, I feel one leg goes out. It's like taps out on me because I'm putting like all my weight right here, and I just feel needles on one side. And I get up, and I always look like when I come out the bathroom from doing my duties, I look like I'm I'm limping. Like I'm limping as I'm walking out.
I know.
I look like I just went to war.
Like I've seen it.
I will say this. The experience of the pregnancy so far from the people around us has been super like supportive.
Oh, for sure. Right? Like everywhere, like even like job, church, our family members, it's
caretaker,
like everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's been very, very supportive, very attentive. Mm-hmm. And it's been a very beautiful experience to see how everybody has come together to just kind of support us in any way that they can.
I think that like, they say, a lot of people say like they don't see God because they like to confuse a lot or like to conflate it with wanting to see God visually or audibly, right? As I was saying, they say like in church, like churches sometimes, depending on what church you go to, they'll say things in a way where they're like, I heard God's voice, or I heard like God told me this, or I see the hand of God. And it's like, if you're new at church, sometimes you need a little bit more clarification on that explanation of things, right? Because sometimes people may take it a little too literally. Mm-hmm. And it almost feels like things need to be explained better. But that's that's not the topic of this video anyway. But the point is, like, if you've been at church, right, you understand those things, right? You're not really you're not really hearing the voice of God, right? Like for me, at least whenever I've heard that, I don't use that first of all. Mm-hmm. Typically, when I think of that God is speaking to me, it's through his word, right? That if I want God to talk to me, it's through his word. And when people say, like, I see the hand of God in my life, like, and it's like, since we've gotten married, even before, I think I even say even before when we were getting prepared to marry each other, right? When we were engaged, I have not seen like, and it's weird. Like, God's hand has been in my life all my life. I think I've seen the way that my life has gone has been God protecting me from things and God opening doors for certain things to occur in my life. Right. And I feel like since we got married, it's almost like he's like, or maybe it's me that I see now more of God's hand in my life. And I was blind to it as I was younger because of my ignorance and due to me, obviously not focusing in on God in general. I always like had like a lukewarm relationship, which is it's kind of sad to say, but I'm one that's willing to admit it. But once I started taking things like, I was like, yo, this needs to change. And once I started at least going down a more focused road with God, that's like really when I was like, wow, God's hand has really been over our lives. And in marriage, he's shown and reflected himself through actions of others who aren't even, believers, right? And just the support that we received around from everybody, right? So for me, it was just like, wow, I've seen this transition and of our life and this new family that we're building, and God has always been very present in in applying and supplying things in our lives that we need, right? And it's not just like materialistic things. It's just sometimes it's things that we don't know that we need, and we need to kind of be woken up from it. And there's clarity in all those things, and there's guidance through all those things. And you gotta make sure that you look at those situations whenever they occur in like not in an aspect where it's like, wow, man, everything negative is always happening to me. It's more just like, hey, how are you supposed to compose yourself through this situation? What's your job? What do you need to do? Right. And anyways, that's just to go with saying like, well, we literally did not need to buy anything so far. Like in terms of like the little like the stuff that the baby needs, like the bottles and detergents and stuff like that, right?
Well, not even that.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Somebody gave us that. Yeah, it's been crazy. Like everybody has blessed us obviously with baby stuff. Like even my job throwing me a surprise baby shower, I was not expecting that. That was a blessing.
Yeah, your boss called me and told me about that one.
Yeah, like everything was like literally God has placed the right people, and they have just been able to supply everything for us. Like I think the only thing we've bought in so far has been the baby bottles. Yeah, and that was it.
Literally everything else, the cribs, the bassinets, the little swinging machine over there, what it's called, but the little swinging machine over there, playpen, all this stuff, changing station, all that, which is kind of crazy how like those things that just don't go ignored, right? And it's not just like, and at the end of the day, it is how you treat people around you, right? And how you choose to create those relationships with those around you. So that does affect, how people treat you. And obviously what we apply in our lives is reflecting Christ in our actions. And, I think that for me at least, right, I need to work a little bit on my patience, right? And on my short temperedness, because I do tend to have like a short temper when it comes to like work. Like when I'm working, it's just like, because when you work in construction, there's a lot of ego and pride involved in a lot of like different jobs and trades, and every trade wants to be better than you, or every trade thinks they're better than you, and it's always every trade thinks that that you did your job wrong, or like, because I think the same way. Like I go in there, I'm like, yo, they did this horrible. Like why is their AC unit, or why is their vents so close to my head when my head was there first? Yeah. There's a code of distance, and you guys aren't following. You're just placing it right there because that's where your plan says. That's not how things work. You have to be able to talk to the person especially if they're in the same room as you, right? Which that happened yesterday, by the way. I had to come down because I had already placed all my sprinkler heads and pipes and everything, and some dude came in and put just like a head right, like touching the sprinkler head. And that's literally, by the way, guys, I'm rambling at this point, but when you go into like an inspection, they're gonna fail you for that. Yeah. The AC guys and the sprinkler guys, and one has to fix it. And typically the one who went in there beforehand is not the one that fixes it. The one that goes in there afterwards and places it after those sprinklers are placed. And they have records of all stuff, like who places what first. That's kind of how everything goes. So it's easy to track down what needs to change first. But anyways, that just goes to show you like your reflection of how you should be acting towards people, and by being a person who tries to honor those around you, you get you don't expect nothing back, but within their actions, people reflect that upon you, because they see that that you're not just putting up a front. You're genuinely trying to show people this is what Christ did for me, and I'm going to show you how Christ has changed me. Yeah. Right. And because of that, we get to where we're at. Right. And so, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but, hey,
but God has been good, because
there has not been a lot of rainy days. And when there is, we know how to go about it. That's one thing, because we come together and we know how to respond with those. You're not my enemy during rainy days. I'm not your enemy during rainy days. We are a team, and we know how to what we need to do during those moments. You know how you should be treating me during those moments, and how I should be treating you to be able to get us to push forward. Period.
And I think we both learned how to just rely on God and ask them for wisdom and be like, all right, God, how should we handle?
Did you say ask them?
No, I said ask him.
Oh, I thought I heard them. And I'm like, all right, we're about to go into the theology of Trinity and oneness right now. What are we going to do? The Godhead, we're about to, what are we going to do?
No, ask him how we should go about that situation and just trusting that God will lead us into the right path, into what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that our singleness prior to is kind of also what had, like, not singleness, our not being married phase, our dating phase, because we were together for so long prior to, right? And for so long for us may not be for so long for other people. Like I say, 2018 is when we first like really started taking our relationship seriously, period, in anything, right? Yep. And from then on, there was like a period of time where we got married in 2022. I hope I didn't get that.
You did it.
October 15, 2022.
Yeah.
You want me to put the time frame 7 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m.? Just kidding.
Well,
just kidding. I don't know.
The wedding was supposed to start.
During that day, all right? It was during that day, right? Everything was not on time. Everybody was late. We were late. We finished late. There was time frames just existed to be there, but they did not do anything for the wedding. Anyways, so
our wedding date was crazy.
Yeah, but from that time frame to when we got married, we already learned a lot about each other, and we learned what we need to do. We learned our. I don't even. It's weird because like a lot of these, I guess this like modern day. I don't even know if it's modern day, but it's this term that's called your language of love. What is your language?
Love language?
Or yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, I if I'm gonna use that, right? I wouldn't say that's strictly what I use to learn how to be able to learn how you are as a person. More than anything, it was more just like asking God to reveal certain things in my life about myself, because what was holding me back from you was me.
There is a lot.
All right. and I think once that kind of got figured out, I think that that's kind of when things kind of started to flow. And I don't want to speak for you, which is why I'm not like, this is the issues you had, because that's not me saying that. If there was ever moments where I truly felt that, I would obviously, vocalize those things with you. Yeah. But for the most part, you were at a point where I know I'm like, this woman, she's at a point in her life where she's mature enough to know when she's wrong, when she's right. I was immature to know when I was wrong. And if I was wrong, I wouldn't accept it. Right. And so that just has to do with a lot of being prudent, right?
For sure.
I think you showed a lot of grace to me in the beginning of our relationship. And now we're at a point where it's just like, wow.
What's crazy is that I've learned how to change things that I needed to change and be better at in my personal life. And now in this season in my life, I'm learning how to do that with my job, which is crazy to think about. Like I always and it's something you used to tell me, was like, stop putting everything on your plate. Like you don't have to help everybody. Yeah. Like don't overstress yourself with just trying to like be the hero. Yeah,
because you have a very infectious way of treating people, right? Like it's very volunteer. It's very trying to be helpful, trying to take off whatever somebody else's plate has, putting it onto yours. Yeah. And at some point, you're not gonna be able to move that plate.
I know. So now my boss is telling me the same thing, and then now I have to learn how to do that at work. So I'm like, God, like I thought I was past this, like I was able to do it, but I didn't notice that I was doing it now at my job. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy how like sometimes you have to learn how to do it in one area and then also learn how to do it in all the areas of your life.
I think that has to do also with like the sense of accomplishment that you feel when you're at work, because you technically like, and it's not to say like you don't, crazy if I say you don't get rewarded while you're at home. Like it's crazy. uh, but like it's a sense of like there's a sense of accomplishment when you're at work because you get rewarded for things that you do. And if you don't, right, you don't look to be rewarded in the first place. But because of that, there's a sense of gratitude that people feel towards you, your bosses feel towards you, and and so I guess it's harder because you want to be a helpful hand at work because you want to be an asset to your job. You want to be somebody that's looked at that's not just a number. Which in reality, at the end of the day, we still are all just numbers. We just have to be good numbers. So, yeah, so we did have more to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to include it in the video, because the audio essentially got kind of corrupted. It was just the audio more than anything, but we'll see. We'll see if I include it or not. Anyways, I think this is a good point. So if you haven't already, D&D podcast, So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, comment in the comment section. Comment in the comment section. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload and you're always notified whenever we do upload. Yeah. So this probably will be one of the last few times that you see her like in this kind of space. Once the baby's born and everything's kind of situated, then we'll upload videos a little bit more frequently. Excuse me, sorry. Next upload though will be I'll be having a guest friend of mine. I think it's a very informative episode. A good episode just to post on the channel. So that will be the next one. So hopefully you guys stick around. Continue to show us love and support. Thank you for the love and support that we've received from you guys. Any last words?
Love you guys. See you next time.
Why you always give like the Disney Channel exit outro? Like,
how is that Disney Channel?
Love you guys. See you next time.
Listen, no.
Okay, Blippy.
Disney Channel is with the whole like thing. Okay.
Okay, but you gave the general like cadence of that. Anyways, any last words? All right. Okay, y'all. I don't want to be bullying y'all. So all right. See y'all later. Bye. Y'all. See y'all.